In this video, I'm going to describe a situation that happened with a client of ours who had a court-ordered judgment order, but the company not the company, the attorney who was handling the judgment order was not negotiating in good faith. And I'm going to let you know what we were able to get accomplished. And just so you know, the spoiler alert is that when she walked into court for her examination, for her debtor's examination, the judge dismissed the case fully. That means that even though the case was, the judgment was being negotiated, because she came to us after she got a judgment, and we ended up successfully being able to get the case dismissed without us knowing that it was going to get dismissed. I'm going to describe that in detail to you. So let's just take it from the top. You're sitting at home and you get this knock on your door, and it says that you have a judgment in order, a judgment ordered against you from a lawsuit that you disregarded, that you didn't respond to. And you're like, okay, get afraid. Do I need to hire an attorney? No, I don't want an attorney because that's going to cost me more money. So what can I do? I run ChatGPT, whatever the other ones are, everywhere. YouTube, you might find my video. You're all over the place. Your mind is just all over, because the reason why it's all over is because deep down inside, you don't want them to mess up your lifestyle. You don't want them to take your money. You don't want them, some people don't even want their spouse to know about it. We get clients who say, my spouse don't know about this. What can I do? We always tell them you need to notify your spouse, because you don't want to be hide nothing from your spouse. We'll coach you on how to do that. But people search all over the place, and they're like, what can I do? If you don't want to reopen the case, which this individual did not want to do, she did not want to go into court. She was like, I owed this debt. What can I do to work it out? And she found our company, the creditrepairshop.com and Summers Master. We have a department that settles debt. There's nothing wrong with that. It just allows the individual to be able to move forward the way that they want to move forward. We started negotiating with this attorney, and we do this by phone. We talk on the phone with these attorneys. We don't send letters back and forth. We might send some emails, and if it's a letter that's required, but we want to talk to them on the phone, because we want to get the job done for our clients. We were in good faith negotiations with this attorney. But for some reason, we kept feeling that this attorney was not being forthright with us, that they were actually not doing what they're supposed to do, which is to take any offers or anything that their client has not automatically told them that they can say yes or no to. They're required to take it to them. Even if they try not to, you can get them to do that. And they were like, we took it to our client. Our client don't want to accept this offer. And then we said, okay, we'll take this offer to them. Took it to their client, and they were like, our client don't want to accept this offer. So we was like, hold on a second. We have communications. We told you about this, our client's hardship. What is going on? This doesn't seem right. And they just would never want to come to any agreement. They just kept no. And we've been doing this for years. We've talked to attorneys, corporate attorneys, corporations with their collection departments. We know that the impossible can always be done. It's just that you can't guarantee what number that impossible would be at. But every company, business is always about negotiations and win-win scenarios, and we know that. So we're just going to keep pushing. Well, this attorney, we had that feeling that they wasn't being, upfront with us. And what we decided to do is we submitted on behalf of our client a letter and had it sent directly to the judge, because they said, this is what the attorney said: we're going to force her to come into court in front of the judge, and we're going to get our money that way. We were like, okay, that's fine. You do what you're going to do. But we knew as a company and as for our client, what we could do is just let the judge know, here's what's going on. Here's the communications. This is what we thought was honest negotiations to keep this out of the courtroom so you can spend your time on things that, are more important. So guess what ended up happening? Our client, afraid, we were like, we've done everything that we could do right here, but you're going to need to go ahead and go to the court. What we're going to do in advance of you getting there, we're going to send a letter notifying the judge about what the experience has been dealing with this attorney. She was like, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid. You could just imagine her head was just spinning. And she, even before she got to go into the courtroom, she called us one more time just for reassurance. And we were like, the worst that could happen is that the judge either says you got to go with their agreement or a combination win-win solution with our agreement that we proposed. But the solution that ended up happening was not the one that we thought would happen. When they called her up, the judge said that he read the letter that our company sent, and guess what the judge did? The judge dismissed the entire judgment, dismissed it with prejudice. That means it cannot come back. So now, what would make the judge do something like that? We're actually working on one with the client right now. Now, let me tell you some things that you need to be aware of when dealing with attorneys or their representatives and you're negotiating with them. Number one, only negotiate if you feel fully confident in negotiation, because they're going to ask you personal questions. If you stutter, they think you're lying. So be very careful with doing that. Not to say that you can't do it. I'm just saying be very careful with that. If you need help with something like that, contact us. Go to thecreditrepairshop.com or go to summonsmaster.com. So now, let's talk about some things that they are not allowed to do. An attorney who works for their client, original creditor or debt collector, is still under the Fair Debt Collectors Practices Act. A business cannot represent itself in a court case. So no matter what, they're going to have to hire a debt collection attorney to handle their case. As a debt collection attorney, they cannot make false, deceptive, or misleading representations about what they're going to try to do to you with their case. Like try to put pressure on you. That's 15 USC 1692E. Also, 15 USC 1692D prohibits harassment or oppressive conduct. 15 USC 1692F prohibits unfair or unconscionable collection practices. Now, in the file that we're working on right now, they have threatened our client to harm his ability to be able to make a living. According to the laws in their state, and it's inside of the Fair Debt Collectors Practices Act, threatening to imply harm to a debtor's livelihood, particularly in the connection with the debt collection effort, may constitute coercive or improper conduct. When we drafted the letter to the judge, and the judge read that letter, and here's the crazy thing, we didn't even put the specific laws in there with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. We just was like, hey, judge, look at this, and let's, you're going to have both parties in the court help, mediate and come to a resolution, because she wanted to pay it. She wanted to pay it. But she left out of there and she called us and she was crying. She was saying, praise the Lord, like praise y'all. I'm going to put a glowing review, just everything. She was literally crying. She was saying like the impossible happened. And what we do, so I want to be clear, we don't over promise anything. What we do, this is what we do, because people always say, what's your guarantee? What's your guarantee? There's no guarantees in life. You can walk right out of your door and something happen. You can drive home, something happen. There's no guarantee in nothing in life. But what we do guarantee is that we're going to keep working, keep pushing to get the resolution that you want. And sometimes the miracles happen. Sometimes the miracles happen. But miracles happen from preparation, from reviewing, from understanding, and from someone that's willing to just keep moving forward. I see so many people quitting. I see so many people quitting. And I have a lot of good things that go for me in my life. A lot. But my wife always warned me. She'd be like, you too easy on people. You let people get over on you. And I say, well, what I try to do is I try to balance it. And I say, well, if you are willing to allow us to just keep doing what needs to be done without you getting overly frustrated. We understand frustration, but without you getting overly frustrated, that's what I need, because I will keep looking at things, researching, using my knowledge, my expertise, my experience over the last, since I started in business, and even before that, back in the 1990s when I was I was a teenager with business owners, and they were telling me about business because I knew I was going to be a business. I quit in 10th grade. I was like, I got cut from the basketball team, and they sent me to the football team, and I played during spring training. But after that, I was like, I'm a businessman. And everything in my life was focused on businessman. And as a teenager, I was in the room with people who were making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars at the age, I was 16, 17 years old. I was in the room with these people. Remember Mark Hughes, the owner, the founder of Herbalife? I knew his brother, Tish. I can't remember he had his sister Tish, and I can't remember the two brothers, but I worked with these people. This was Herbalife International when it first started. This is a multi-million-dollar company. And they were telling me about business, and they were like, Steve, business is going to be about solving problems, which we do with helping people respond to lawsuits, settling their debt, resolving judgments. But he says, Steve, here's the other thing, is that you can't solve the problem exactly the same way as it's been solved for someone else. That people are individuals, and from what I've learned now is like cases are individuals. Lawyers, this lawyer may react one way and another lawyer react another way. And so what I've done with my experience is I say, okay, this is the way that they're responding to us. Let's look at this way to respond to them. Because I train my staff on this. People, everything is human first. I know we got AI and all that stuff, but I'm here to tell you, AI is like a book. Like if someone came to you and they asked you a question about something and they gave you the book, you'd be like, what the hell is this? Give me the answer, damn it. I'm asking you for the answer. I don't want to read a book. I don't want to sit here and do the research on this. Give me an answer. You have to be quick. And the only way you can be quick is if you've been doing this stuff and you do it over and over and over. Yes, you could use little tools to research, but it has to be ultimately crafted for a human being, a judge, a lawyer, representative, someone to understand and read it and say, okay, this is what they're really trying to get me to do This is what they're trying to get me to understand. This is what they want from the outcome that they want. And one of the ways that I try to get that point across to people is like, you could be talking to somebody. You could be talking to them, and then you say, you know what I'm saying. And you talk, you know what I'm saying, man. You talk, you know what I'm saying. And the person knows what you're saying. You go to ChatGPT or any of these platforms, you type in, you know what I'm saying. And you could type in exactly for what you're trying to search for, and you say to ChatGPT, and you know what I'm saying, and it's going to be like, what the, if it don't cuss at you, you know, maybe you friendly with your ChatGPT and it might cuss at you. It's not going to know what you're saying. And what you're saying is, how do humans relate to people? Because if you say something with the wrong tone, people take it the wrong way. And it could be the same thing that someone else says to them, the same words. I get this a lot with my wife. She'll be like, you say this to our employees, and they're like, they take it, and then I say it, and they act like I just slammed a rock over their head or something. And it's the tone. It's the tone. And this is stuff that we as humans know. You know this. I'm not teaching you nothing that you don't know. But when you're dealing with people, this is where the problem comes in. Is that when you're dealing with stuff like this that you don't know anything about, and you go out there and you research it, your tone is going to be all screwed up because people don't talk that way. That's like giving a book. That's like, here's the book on something, but it's all scrambled up, and you think that person's going to take the time to look at that to understand what you're saying. No, that's not going to happen. So if you're being sued by debt collector, what I want you to do is go to summonsmaster.com, where you can get a court-ready response to avoid default judgment and have the opportunity to win your case, to get it dismissed. If you have a default judgment, we can either help you reopen the case, or if you don't want to deal with that, we could settle that debt for less for you, take care of all of it for you. If you have debt collectors coming after you, go to summonsmaster.com, and you can upload your debt collection letter and get a fully formatted response. Get an exclusive certified debt validation to mail to them, certified mail that can stop most debt collectors. And if you have a default judgment, go to Summons Master or Credit Repair Shop, contact us, email us, and we'll follow up with you on that. That's not something that Summons Master, the software, handles. This is something that we got to do individually for you. If you need help with your credit, please visit thecreditrepairshop.com. Everything's with your credit. You got to protect it. It's very important. It can help set you up for wealth in your future. People with bad credit pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. Look at these gas prices. Look at how much food is. If you, with your regular expenses, if you just was able to get better interest rates on that, that's more money in your pocket. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com, to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, again, go to summonsmaster.com. Subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com and summonsmaster.com.